Hello Shamanettes, and welcome to The Beauty Shaman. So today we're going to address a rather hot topic of the fact that I've decided not to use Botox or injectables to minimize the signs of aging. This is a decision that I have made. I don't put any judgment on anyone else who uses that. In fact, I work with many on-camera talent who do it. So why have I made this decision? What is my reasoning behind this? And that's what we're going to get into. So for starters, over 7.5 million people in the US use injectables every year, and most do it repeatedly with little side effects. So why not? Why won't I do it? So at the filming of this video, I am 57 years old. I'm a licensed esthetician, I'm a former international model, and I'm a celebrity makeup artist. So I've seen and worked with many people who use injectables to look their best on camera. But for me, it's not a good idea. I choose this in part because I want to be honest, and that if I say a product works, you see exactly what that looks like. I'm not pulling any punches, and I'm not using anything that I'm not being completely upfront about. Too many women on this platform sell products and aren't upfront about the extra methods they use. So if I say it works, you see it. So now I'm going to go into my other reasons as to why, not just the fact that I want to be upfront and honest on this particular platform, but there are many other reasons why Botox may not be the right decision for many of you. All right, before we get started on this serious topic, please visit my website at thebeautyshamanstore.com and sign up for my weekly, very informative newsletter. And also hit the subscribe button here on YouTube and the bell so that you can be alerted every time I upload a video. Let's get going. There are 4 types of neurotoxins used for so-called anti-agings. Botox is the most common and well-known, but there's also Dysport, Jeuveau, and Xeomin, and I might have said one of those wrong, but they're all made by different manufacturers. They work by injecting the substance into the muscles underlying the so-called affected area in order to smooth out frown lines, wrinkles, crow's feet, etc. It lasts for around 3 to 4 months and could potentially have various negative side effects depending on your general health, allergies, that sort of thing. Having said that, many people who use them have no side effects at all. With that in mind, here are my 5 reasons why I don't get injectables or plastic surgery. But in this video, we're really going to focus on injectables. Okay, the first reason is that Big Pharma is notoriously dishonest. And I'm going to go through some of the dishonesty that they have used in marketing and selling products like Botox. So the first one is there are zero long-term studies on the effect of continued use. In other words, maybe you get an injection here and there, probably you're fine. But the real issue comes if you do it continually. What happens then? And the problem is they haven't done those kinds of studies. I think in part because they really don't want to know what the long-term effects are, if it's good or bad. But I find this very disconcerting. So if I get started on it and say I love the effect, which of course I would because I wouldn't have crow's feet and I wouldn't have some of the things that maybe sometimes I'm not pleased with. Actually, I work very hard on being pleased with how I look every single day, no matter what I look like. But it bothers me that I could get started on that and then I could have some long-term effects when I'm in my 60s, 70s, 80s that I would not have known about because they haven't done those studies. Another one of the lies of the pharmaceutical company is that the big marketing campaign that says if you start injecting in your 20s, it's a preventative measure against aging. This is utter and complete hogwash. Botox is not preventative. None of the injectables are preventative. None of it. You are going to age no matter what. Plastic surgery isn't preventative. All these do is temporarily take away some of the aspects that many of us don't like. Otherwise, there's nothing preventative. You have to keep doing it again and again and again in order to have the same effect. If you start in your 20s, that's getting people kind of so-called addicted a bit, right, to this substance and to this treatment so that they can continue looking like they're in their 20s when they're in their 70s. At least that's what we want to believe. But in effect, it is an untruth. And this, of course, really bothers me that they're trying to get 20-year-olds to hooked on something because they don't like how they look. It's this negativity that bothers me. Probably one of the biggest lies of the pharmaceutical companies when it comes to Botox that really, really irks me is that they say it stays localized. In other words, you get it injected into your face and it stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. That is absolutely not true, believe it or not. Back in 2000, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration added a warning to the drug information that states botulinum toxin may spread from the area of injection to produce symptoms consistent with botulism. Please see below for the link to that particular research. Botulism is one of the most toxic substances known to mankind, and that is what you're injecting your face with, and it does not stay localized. Where does it go? It goes everywhere. That's the answer to that question. The fact that they put that in the fine print and don't tell you that, to me, is a huge red flag. I challenge you to look up Botox lawsuits directed at Allergen PLC, that's the company that makes it, and the people injured or killed because they were not fully informed of the potential side effects using the drug. Do that kind of a research. I support you in making an educated decision based on self-love, not on self-loathing. Love yourself completely before and after any treatment. That's how I look at the treatments that I do, things like microdermabrasion or peels. I try to love myself 100% before I do that so that I don't get addicted, so that I don't have this complex of when I do all these things, when I have all this makeup on, then I'm beautiful. But without all of that, I'm not. That's a very, very toxic way of existing in the world, and that's what women are constantly inundated with. And that is absolutely what I am against as the beauty shaman. Okay, so what are some of the potential side effects that you can get from Botox? Headache or flu-like symptoms and difficulty swallowing is one of them. Droopy eyelid or cockeyed eyebrow, crooked smile, or drooling. You can also get excessive eye dryness or tearing. Another negative side effect is you can have gradual muscle atrophy with prolonged use. And if you completely stop using it, you can become more bony and older looking once you stop. And if you get atrophy, you're going to look even worse because you're no longer injecting and the face just kind of shrivels up. So it's very negative. And I've actually known people that this has happened to, where they've gotten Botox for many, many years and all of a sudden their face atrophied and they can no longer get injections and they look worse. It's really sad, but this kind of thing does happen. Another one of the side effects is it can become less effective over time. So you need more and more to achieve the same kind of outcome. So what you start with, you think, oh, I'm only using a little bit. Maybe 2 or 3 years later, you've got to up that. So you're injecting more and more that is spreading throughout your body. Okay, another one of the negatives is it's expensive. It's $300 to $600 for a single treatment. And you need to update between every 3 to 4 months to maintain the same look. So this can really add up. And I think what I dislike about this too is it's, hey, I have a lot of money, therefore I can look really great, and you don't have money, therefore you look bad. This kind of a negative translation in society. You know, I'm not for this. I believe we're beautiful no matter what we do because it's a soul issue. I connect beauty and spirituality. Beauty is an essence. It's a part of your soul. It's a part of who you are as a woman. So saying that we have to do anything at all actually is, incorrect. Having said that, our society does have very acute views on beauty, which is why I love it and why I love the changing shape of beauty constantly. Okay, point 4 is that Botox has been termed a gateway drug because many people, once they start doing it, they get excited and they think, oh, let me just do more and more. And they start doing more and more changes to their skin, more and more surgeries, more and more injections. And they end up having a pretty bizarre appearance. This is actually pretty common. I know you all have seen this happen to maybe friends that you know or public figures. Need I say Madonna? Okay, point 5 is that, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but the whole idea that women aren't allowed to age and that aging is bad, and if you don't have money to pay for injections, that somehow you're less beautiful, and it's bad because now you look old and looking old is bad. It's this whole idea, which I think is just absolutely horrible. And I think a part of women becoming more powerful, becoming more confident, really speaking out, really taking the lead in areas in life has to do with self-confidence. And so if we're constantly inundated with negatives about how we look, we're not going to have as much confidence. I look at it as kind of a way to silence women. So that's why I'm more pro you be the best you. You have your highest and best good in mind, and you do what you need to do in your highest and best good. So, and if that includes injections, that's fine. But what I honor is your inner wisdom, the inner belief that you are worthy. This is absolutely what all of these things sort of fight against, that I'm trying to really help with. Okay, so what's the positive of this? What's the stance that I take? I take the stance that we are to love our body and treat it with care. Great skincare, diet, exercise, monthly peels if you would like, microdermabrasion, red light therapy, microcurrent, whatever you want to do. You do whatever suits you. If those kinds of treatments are too invasive for you, that's fine. I think each one of us has to make a decision on what suits us. What I don't like is lies of the pharmaceutical company, so you don't know what you're getting into, or getting addicted to the idea that you're more beautiful or better in some way if you do anything, even wearing makeup. But there are many tools out there to help you look and feel your best, whatever you decide. Now, just so you know, I'm very, very pro meditation, a positive mindset, and doing things that help you to feel inspired and in love with life. Or don't do anything at all and love your life and love yourself. You do what works for you. Whatever you do, I hope you take from this that life is all about love. It's about loving your body, loving yourself as you age, and loving those around you to the best of your ability. Life, for me, is about learning to love perfectly. I would like to see change in the way the Western world sees women and aging. And I believe this starts with each one of us devoting ourselves to looking in the mirror every single day and saying, I love you. Thank you so much for watching The Beauty Shaman.